Okay, my video got cut off, so I was talking for a long time before I realized that it had cut off. So I guess this is part 2 of submission. So where the last video left off was, what to do in the instance of whenever your husband's just not doing things right. What are you supposed to do? So it is your role and responsibility, like I said, first and foremost, to pray for him. Love, if you go to 1 Corinthians, I believe it's 13, it talks about everything that love is. So it says love is kind, love is patient, love is long-suffering, love does not keep a record of wrongs, it does not brag or boast, it does not rejoice, with evil, but it celebrates the truth. It says all these things of what love is. And so if we say that we love our spouses, then should we not be long-suffering? Should we not be patient? Should we not be kind to them even whenever they're not doing what we feel they should be doing? Because love should be unconditional. It should not be a conditional-based love. And that's what today's society teaches us. Well, I'll only respect you if you respect me. I'll only be nice to you if you're nice to me. I'll only love you if you love me. But that is not the way God intended love to be. That's not real love. Love is, at the end of the day, regardless of what you're doing, regardless of how you're acting, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. That is integrity. At the end of the day, my mindset does not change. If I say I love you, then I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. So a good example of this is in 1 Peter and chapter 3, verse 1. It says, "In the same way, you wives must accept the authority of your husbands. Then, even if some refuse to obey the good news, your godly lives will speak to them without any words." Means you don't have to nag them. You don't have to tell them. You've probably told them so much, they can say it word for word exactly how you're going to say it. But if you continue to do what's right, do what you're supposed to do by your actions and live a godly life, you can win that man over. In addition to praying and praying fervently for him, cover your husband in prayer from head to toe. Pray for his mind, pray for his heart, pray for his spirit, pray for his strength, not just physical strength, but mental strength, emotional strength. Pray for him. But it says, your godly lives will speak to them without any words. They will be won over by observing your pure and reverent lives. Don't be concerned about the outward beauty of fancy hairstyles, expensive jewelry, or beautiful clothes. You should clothe yourselves instead with the beauty that comes from within, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is so precious to God. Now, it says, this is how the holy women of old made themselves beautiful. They put their trust in God and accepted the authority of their husband. So, at the end of the day, if we're also supposed to submit to Christ first and foremost, we are putting our trust in Him. We are putting our faith in Him. God has plans to prosper us. God cares for everything. He knows what we need before we even speak it. So He knows when our husbands is not, are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. However, it has absolutely nothing to do with you. You're supposed to do what you're supposed to do. But put that faith and trust in God to work it all out. There is nothing that God cannot do. The fact of the matter is, it could look bad, it could sound bad, it could feel bad, but God can turn around anything and everything. A good example of that would be, Abraham and Sarah conceiving a child, Isaac, in their 90s and hundreds, okay? The fact of the matter is, their bodies were old and dead and out of commission, and their womb was barren, but God. At the end of the day, that's what it is, but God. So, speak life over him. We have power of life and death in our tongue. So speak life over him. Even if your husband or your spouse is not acting like they should, or acting, or walking in the purpose and position that God created them to be, treat them and talk to them as if they were. So elevate your spouse to the position that God sees them. I've heard the statement before, that if they're acting like a 2, treat them like a 10, and they're guaranteed to at least come up to an 8 or 9. I've heard that before from, my pastor and his wife. So what you do, I promise you, ladies, goes further than what you say. Again, if we can go to work every single day, a lot of times we don't like our bosses, we don't like our jobs, we don't like our coworkers, we don't, if we went to court, for a traffic ticket or something, we would go in there with respect. We would go in there, with self-control. If our boss came out there yelling and screaming and cursing at us, most of us would just say, yes ma'am, yes sir. It would get under your skin, but you would bite your tongue and you would do what they said to do. Excuse me. And you would go on about your business. Same thing with the judge. If the judge says something to you, crazy or whatever, you're just gonna take it. You're gonna bite your tongue and you're gonna take it, and you're gonna move forward. So if we have the self-control to bite our tongues with these people that we hold in a high rank, for example, our boss signs our paychecks, the judge can put us in jail, or whatever. We respect them because of their rank and position. So if our husband is supposed to be above all others, why is it that we can go to work